Alrighty then, it's time for a Jungle Nocturne game. Let's get this show on the road. Which one? So, this game is pretty funny in particular. So, I'm fighting a Master Yi. And we all know how everybody loves Master Yi. But I just gotta point out, this beginning is rather peculiar. So, we walk to his jungle and then just kind of like, oh, hi, Master Yi. We were all kind of, not expecting that. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't either. Sort of like he clicked to go to red buff and then alt tabbed and then he realized, oh, I'm dead. So we're off to a pretty good start. And you know what's even better? I don't know what the hell the Master Yi was doing, but he tried ganking a level 2 at bottom lane and basically gave my bottom lane 3 kills because it was a really weird forced gank. So now I'm able just to take the Scuttle Crab uncontested and try to invade him for his blue. I know he would have made it in time, so I instead try to ambush him. He ends up warding and I scare him off, and the top lane Malphite comes to try to help him out, and it ends up becoming this really awkward thing because Master Yi doesn't realize that he reset his own blue because he tried fighting it a little too far away, and he keeps going at it even though he knows the threat of me and the Aatrox is still here, so we scare him off, and Malphite comes back down to help, and in a 2v2 we would win. I just don't know why the Master Yi keeps trying to go for this when it's very obvious we're just going to boot him out, and we just keep going around in circles. It's kind of funny. I try to gank Azir during that intermediate time, which makes it so Master Yi recommits. He gets chunked down for a lot, ends up burning his smite and his flash, and then I catch the Malphite burning his flash. So technically, this was one of the best ganks ever in the history of the world because he got 2 summoner spells for basically not even being there. Either way, I managed to finally get his blue, putting me really ahead. And then Master Yi gets caught in his Krugs and just kind of dies. Well, I chase after him, I end up fearing him, and then I stab him in the butthole and he dies. Azir tries to do the wall thing on me, my W saves me, I use Smite on the chickens to survive, and then LeBlanc finishes him off. So, my god. These are the ganks that all junglers dream of, where the kills come to you. Just hand it over to you, right? So I'm just off to such an amazing start, and of course I have the Scuttles under control. I get all the buffs. I try to I was looking for Master Yi again just to keep him down. His farm is essentially half as mine. He's very pitiful right now. And then bottom lane is just kind of snowballing off the first blood and then all the kills they got. And then Master Yi tries to gank Aatrox for some reason, despite the fact that he doesn't really have the power to do so. And I'm pretty sure most people don't even really know that Aatrox has that revival thing on his ultimate, because I didn't know that for a little while. So the gank pretty much fails. Also, that Malphite ultimate was hilarious. So now that I have level 6, I get to scour for kills. I was looking for the Master Yi, but, Aatrox is, Azir is here about to be ganked, so Morgana goes in, burns her ultimate, hits him with a very easy Q. And I just ult in. I don't use my abilities properly there. I think I should have been able to have my W properly, but I didn't do the Q before hitting him with my ultimate, which would have made a much more cleaner death. Master Yi chases me. You can see I just basically walk away. He gives up at some point, so that tells me that he at least knows not to chase completely. At the same time, by the way, the Aatrox and I are teaming up to absolutely bury him by basically invading him constantly and making sure he just doesn't get any actual farm. He does get a Siskel there, so that's something for him, but 24 CS versus 66, and basically losing his buffs and all the scuttles. He's dead and gone. He has only 1 complete item, and that's a big deal. Azir tried doing the razzle dazzle with the wall, but as a result of him failing that, I just get a very easy kill on him. Hooray! So again, I'm pretty much snowballing 2-0-3. I mean, it's not as many kills as one would dream to have, but considering the situation or who my opponent is, it's pretty good that I have such a steep advantage. Once again, he's at red, and I try to scare him off, but in comes other homies who scare me off, and I just kind of bail. Once again, I'm just kind of waiting for my ultimate to go through. So, speaking about Nocturne, actually, he's pretty much high up there right now. I know in LCS he's being picked because his ultimate is super game busting for some players right now. But I am a little bit, well, okay, I've seen several Nocturnes go a ton of different builds, different masteries. Some people go electrocute, some people go press the attack, some people go lethal tempo. So I'm still trying to figure out which one is the better one that I enjoy, because I know Blood Razor does some work when you're just able to stab people to death and, you know, have those other on-hit abilities. It allows you to get a little bit more tanky. But I'm particularly fond of the assassination build. If you don't do like I do and screw up your Q when you're about to land with your ultimate, and you have something like Duskblade and that new item, I think it's called Storm's Razor, you get to do a huge amount of chunk damage. In this game, that's the build I'm going for. I haven't really gone back yet, so the second I go back, I buy a Duskblade just out of pocket. I didn't even build my warrior. But essentially, you use this item combination to just annihilate whoever you touch with your ultimate. So it's pretty good, especially when the enemy team is Sans Malphite, pretty squishy. And even then, Malphite, you know, isn't doing too hot as well. I mean, his farm isn't so bad, but I mean, his farm is pretty bad, but isn't so bad compared to the rest of his team. Anyways, Azure once again dies to my W against his Razzle Dazzle Wazzle Mazzle, and he gets destroyed. And once again, just taking all the farm from the Master E. Again, 102 CS versus 40. You know, and I will say this, you know, for the benefit of the enemy team, at least they were not fighting in all chat, which in this case, I would kind of, you know, almost understand. It's pretty bad situation. Props to the Malphite, too, in the early game for trying to help out his Master E teammate, even to his own detriment. Anyways, immediately ult as Zilean because, you know, he's just going to explode. Azure comes through, and, you know, just he's going to finish off the Morgana. I go at him, and he pushes me off with his wall. My WE doesn't get him, but thankfully Lucian guns him down. Master E goes in for some reason and gets gunned down too. So, you know, at this point, he is kind of feeding. And it's particularly interesting because he did show some cases where he was paying attention to the map, at least after the first blood. And, you know, some semblance of game ideas, but he's kind of, you know, doing a lot of silly things. So I have sort of a sad issue with a lot of champions in the game, like Master E, in that when they become popular, it's sort of mostly an autopilot kind of thing for a lot of players, where they realize, you know, certain things, they can win just doing a few things, you know, over and over, because most players don't bother adapting to them or trying very hard, so they get away with it and then they get punished. But when they're presented with a different kind of obstacle, a different kind of, well, I guess, opponent, they sort of fall apart. Now this is like a comparison to a different game, For Honor, that I play. There's a character called the Highlander who got really mega buffed in a way in which he's basically a scrubby character, because there's a very, very simple bread and butter you can spam and defeat a lot of opponents who are not too familiar with the game, and even some better players can fall prey to it because it has a lot of broken advantages to it, right? But the players who were long playing that character before he was buffed pulled off a whole lot of different kind of stunts to make him work out. As a result, you know, it feels kind of bad that now when their champion is popular, a lot of players can kind of just glide through putting way less effort than they had to do. And I think a lot of players feel that when their champions become popular. So it's just kind of, it's one of my things that I dislike when champions like Master E or even Tryndamere become a thing, because you can see, or you can point out the players who are just sort of running through some motions that let them kind of crush players or teams who aren't bothering to do anything, or don't fully understand the weaknesses of said champions and then get sort of crushed, or they don't adapt. This happened with, the most recent one that happened with that I was complaining a lot about was the new Warwick, or the rework Warwick, when he was in a rampage. It was very obvious who the players who were just playing him because he was strong, you know, were. The same thing with like Sion when he became meta again. So it's just a little bit of a gripe, mostly because the luster of picking on these players tends to leave really quickly. But either way, as you can see, this game was over long ago. At this point, the second I ult anybody, I'll murder them. And in this case, there's 3 people grouped up, so I just jump in, deal quite a bit of chunk damage, and, you know, I kill Master E because he's the easiest person to, you know, destroy. But the rest of them, you know, they get picked off by LeBlanc and my teammates. I can't really go after the Draven. But yeah. So obviously I bought Guardian Angel and finished the Warriors just to give myself some more cooldown reduction and survivability, but you know, that this build is pretty much standard, or at least standard for the Assassinii Nocturne that I quite enjoy right now. Either way, this was a fun video to voice because it was a game where we just kind of systematically destroyed people and it was pretty cruel and mean. But the next videos will be a lot more arduous, where the games are back and forth and painful for your existence. Either way, thanks for watching. And if you liked this video, remember to give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell up there somewhere so you actually get notifications to my videos, because YouTube and stuff.